Are you going to be able to hang out in New York for a while?
Yeah, we're here for 3 days. We're in a band, and we're doing a showcase tomorrow, so we're going to be hanging out.
From Miami, you said?
Yeah, we're from Miami. Band's Marilyn Manson.
Before Marilyn Manson would rise to Rock Super Stardom and clock in 1.2 million followers on Twitter and 3.3 million followers on Instagram at the time of this recording.
Everyone dance or something. Come on. It doesn't have to be like one of those mellow acoustic things.
Before Marilyn Manson would make his film debut in David Lynch's Lost Highway and appear in films like Jawbreaker, Party Monster, The Heart is Deceitful, Above All Things, and later collaborate with Shia LaBeouf on the surrealist horror short Born Villain.
You know, when you hear the way he is, like I said, before, letting your own voice, your own unique voice sing out, that's, an example is Marilyn Manson.
Before Marilyn Manson would appear in popular TV shows including Californication, Eastbound and Down, Sons of Anarchy, and land a recurring role in season 3 of Salem.
So, you're not Pius the 13th?
No. I'm the new Pope.
His shows have been protested, boycotted, and subsequently canceled because of his perceived dark views and stage antics. Now, of course, we've all heard the rumors about Marilyn Manson removing his own ribcage so he could, Now, he even faced controversy after the Columbine massacre in 1999 when media outlets reported that Manson's music was the inspiration behind the tragic event, which Manson then addressed during his interview with Michael Moore in the Bowling for Columbine documentary.
If Marilyn Manson can walk into our town and promote hate, violence, suicide, death, drug use, and Columbine-like behavior, I can say, not without a fight you can't.
I definitely can see why they would pick me, because I think it's easy to throw my face on a TV, because I'm, in the end, sort of a poster boy for fear. Because I represent what everyone's afraid of, because I do and say what I want.
Marilyn has been nominated for 4 Grammys. He's released 10 studio albums and 32 singles, with his latest album, We Are Chaos, dropping sometime this month. Now, he's also rubbed shoulders and befriended everyone in Hollywood with a few famous friends that include Johnny Depp, Courtney Love, and Nicolas Cage. He's even had some nice things to say about a young Justin Timberlake, which was reposted by Marilyn after a recent episode of Hot Ones hit the web.
I think your debut album is the most genius thing that's come out in the last 5 years.
I was like, whoa. Thank you, bro. That means a lot. I was like, I think you're a genius yourself. And he goes,
Please don't tell anyone I told you that.
One person he doesn't have anything good to say about is the other Justin. Yeah, Justin Bieber, he was spotted wearing a Manson t-shirt at a concert, and then Manson, he wore a Bieber t-shirt at one of his shows, and then the two, they had some public beef. But that's a whole other story, and we got a lot to get through, like Marilyn's stint as a nude model for a men's magazine before he made it big. What's going on, guys? It's your boy Michael McCrudden back at it again with a brand new Before They Were Famous video, this time on Marilyn Manson. Now, the first time I took a crack at his biography was back in the early days of this channel, and we hope you guys enjoyed the update. How about an update on Charles Manson or Marilyn Monroe? That's where he got his name from. Be sure to let us know in the comments down below, and I'll see you after the intro. Hey, be sure to subscribe and hit that bell. Boom! Marilyn Manson was born Brian Hugh Warner on January 5th, 1969 in Canton, Ohio. Now, the only son to parents Hugh and Barb Warner. From the get-go, young Brian, he endured a very tough childhood. Now, he was molested several times by a neighbor who was a few years older than him, and when he told about the predator, well, that guy went and killed his dog in retaliation. Now, his grandparents, they also had abusive punishment tactics like forcing him to kneel on broomsticks for a long period of time. He also discovered his grandfather's porn and fetish stash object collection when he was a very young kid. Now, speaking about his parents, he had more, brighter things to say. In fact, he spoke of them very well. He said, "My father was working all the time. I had become this little man of sorts for my mother, and then I wanted to get away from it. I became his placeholder. My mother would even call me by his name. And you're full of testosterone and pissed off, and you don't want to be called your dad's name. Especially when you don't even know where he is." Well, his life at home was difficult, while his time at the Heritage Christian School was just as hard, and he was the constant victim of bullying, and the kid, he was actually painfully shy. Now, his teachers, they set rules about what kind of music he could and couldn't listen to, which only made him love the forbidden music even more. And he developed an interest particularly in metal rock, which at the time was the most popular and edgy music going. Who knows, if he grew up in a more recent era, well, he could have actually turned into a SoundCloud rapper. Just a thought. During his youth, he played football and he was a member of the yearbook committee. Now, he was also into Mad magazines, MTV, rock bands like Kiss. He played Dungeons and Dragons, and he pushed the boundaries at his Christian school. Like writing 666 on the Bible. Yeah, that kind of kid. Following high school, he and his family, they moved to Fort Lauderdale, Florida for his father's job. Now there, the young Brian, he enrolled at a local community college known as Broward. There, he studied journalism and theater despite his father encouraging him to pick another field. Now, he picked up the moniker of Marilyn Manson as a writing pseudonym, but all of his writing was rejected by publishers. Now, he created the name combining Marilyn Monroe and Charles Manson, and speaking on all this, he stated, "The first article I ever did was about Marilyn Manson, which I wrote as myself as Brian Warner. And that was in part why I had to have a pseudonym, a stage name. I was put in a situation where I was suddenly stuck with where I had created Frankenstein's monster. There was Marilyn Manson, but there was no music yet. I created a fake world because I didn't like the one I was living in. But that's what made me make music. I had to fill in the gaps I'd created." While attending Broward Community College in 1990, he landed a job with a local Fort Lauderdale magazine known as Parallel 25th. Now, he got an early break when he was able to interview Trent Reznor of 9 Inch Nails. Now, it didn't take long for him to realize that what he really wanted to do was to be the star himself. So he formed a band known as Marilyn Manson and the Spooky Kids.
I've read a few articles where they say things like, "You're a parent's worst nightmare." What do your parents think of what you're doing?
My parents love me. They came to our last show. They were digging it.
Now, for the group's success, it didn't happen overnight. The band had formed in '89 and they recorded their first demo in 1990. Now, Marilyn himself, he experienced a ton of stage fright at first, but he began to win over local audiences with his bizarre stage stunts, his highly visual concerts, his bizarre costumes, and shock techniques. In 1992, the band, they shortened their name to Marilyn Manson. They dropped the Spooky Kids, but it's important to note that each of the original members, they made stage names merged out of Hollywood icons, that's for the first name, and then they would use infamous criminals for the surname. We're talking Twiggy Ramirez, Daisy Berkowitz, and Olivia Newton-Bundy.
Marilyn Manson is a combination of two extremes, positive and negative, male and female.
Now, with money being tight for the struggling artist, well, he took up a gig posing for a men's gay magazine titled Honcho. They actually didn't even publish the work until he made it big. So, yeah, don't do that, kids. Now, in 1993, Marilyn Manson and his band, they earned a contract from Trent Reznor's record label Nothing. And this was based on the performance and self-released cassettes in the Fort Lauderdale area. Now, the record contract did also earn them a spot on 9 Inch Nails' 1994 tour. Now, Marilyn Manson's first album was titled Portrait of an American Family, produced by Reznor, and it gave Manson his first taste of commercial success.
What are your plans coming up from that? Just basically working on the record?
Yeah, the record's a bit of a soundtrack to the end of the world, so we'll see what happens when it comes out.
From there on out, he found himself a cult following. Now, his next EP, On Smells Like Children, it was released in 1995, and Marilyn, he received heavy play on MTV when he dropped the cover of the Eurythmics song, Sweet Dreams Are Made of These. It then propelled the EP to platinum status. In 1996, Marilyn Manson, he hit it big with the release of the group's second album, Antichrist Superstar. Now, the album, co-produced by Reznor, it debuted at number 3 on the Billboard 200 chart. Now, Marilyn Manson, he achieved his greatest success in 1998 with the release of Mechanical Animals. The album, it reached number 1 on the Billboard chart, and it helped propel ticket sales for his last tour on Earth, which kicked off later that year. Thus, he solidified himself in rock and roll history and became known the world over. Now, there's plenty of other stuff we could talk about. There's the Columbine shooting being pegged on Marilyn, or his 3 engagements, or his acting career, but I think we'll save those for if and when we make a follow-up video. Now, I do want to talk about the passing of both his parents because I think it shows a humanizing quality about Marilyn that few people get to see. Now, in 2014, his mother, she died after an 8-year battle with Alzheimer's, and seeing his father cry for the first time, well, that was at the funeral. And Manson's relationship with his dad, it shifted, and they eventually became close friends. When he bought his first house in California, well, his father actually came to visit, and Manson stated, "My father drove from Ohio to California to my house that I had just got, which I wanted to make him proud, doing exactly that." Manson mended his relationship with his father shortly before his death in July of 2017. Now, the two, they actually collabed for a photo shoot in full face of makeup. And in regards to his father's passing, well, he posted to Instagram, "Today I lost my father, Hugh Warner. He taught me how to be a man, a fighter, and a survivor. He taught me how to shoot a gun, how to drive, how to lead. He will always be the best dad in the world. Somehow and somewhere, I know he is with my mom now. I will keep my promises and never let you down. I miss you and love you, Dad. What I always loved about Marilyn Manson was how he used shock to win people's attention, and then he showed himself to be a thoughtful, intelligent, and humorous human being. It's actually a refreshing contrast among a lot of shock bands with no actual substance underneath. And it always made Marilyn Manson worth talking about. Alright, I'm gonna wrap up this video here, but we could do a follow-up. We could talk about his life in the spotlight, like since he's become famous. We used to title those after they're famous, but I don't think that's fitting. Anyways, maybe where are they now? You guys let me know in the comments down below. My name is Michael McCrudden. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. Now we drop a new video each and every day, so here's a recent drop that you might enjoy. We handpicked that one for you because if you like this video, you'll probably like that. We also got playlists like over here, so click on that if you want to see a whole list of a bunch of videos we've dropped in the past. And if you're new to the Fame Gang, be sure to subscribe and turn on them post notifications. And I'll see you guys in another video. Boom!